to the freehand brush tool. Well, once you've selected that, you can go up here, brush settings. You've also got brush presets, but this is the key thing, edit brush settings. And it doesn't particularly matter which brush you've got selected, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to select a different, now I'm just going to move those out of the way. And now, when you go into this, you may find you've got no brush engines available here. What you need to do is click here. So if you click that, you will see engine. And what you want is the spray one. So select spray. Now you can select this one, the texture star field. You can select any of these. Doesn't particularly matter, long as it's going to be spray, and that's the key thing, spray. You may find that you choose one and it's not exactly right, and you end up thinking, why doesn't it work? Clearly what you need is this one, blending mode of normal. Probably is best, but you can use others. That's a good starting point, normal, so you can actually see the result. So you can run through these now, and there's a number of options. Some work, some don't. And I'm not certain reason why they don't work, but they're in there. You'd think they'd work, but they don't seem to do anything. Rotation's a clear case in point. Doesn't seem to do the rotation. Just seems to ignore it. Not certain why. Certainly on my machine it doesn't do anything. You might have better results with it. However, let's just go back to the top. I've got here diameter 500. That's a reasonable starting point. You can always change it once you've realise it's not working the way that you think. You can always reduce it down. You can also change spacing and particle. Now I'm going to reduce the particle count down to 1. I just don't want it excessive, because if you put it high, it will generate a lot. So put it down to 1. Jitter movement. I like that, so I'm just going to increase it. It'd be nice if there was a scatter feature where you could X and Y, horizontal and vertical, but it's got a jitter movement instead. Then you've got spray shape. Now, this case, this is the key one. Of all of them, spray shape. And that's the one that's deselected. So you have to make certain you select it, go down here and select image. Now, don't bother with this at this point, because it will set it for you, and whatever you set it to, it will overwrite it. Weirdly, you go down to texture, there's nothing there. You have to go here. So just go here, click there, and with that, it always puts you in this pictures folder, not the one that I was originally in. So volumes, select that, go to my photo images, and I'm going to select this one, difference engine. You could select any image, doesn't particularly matter. Obviously, the end result will matter, but I'm just, for this example, click open. So now it's stood, and that's what I said about the 1000, this width, it just sets it for you. That's the maximum. Now, personally, I prefer to reduce it down. I don't want it that great, so I want it probably about 200, 300, perfectly reasonable. And you've got this scratch pad over here, which is useful if you can expand this out, and then you can start painting, and you can see the result. So you've got this, you've set this up. Brush tip doesn't seem to particularly matter. Maybe again it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but I haven't found particularly any response from it. Maybe it does have an effect, might vary things. However, doing testing doesn't seem to do much, whatever of these you set. Opacity, well, you can set that or not. Personally, I'm not fussed with that, though it seems to just give opacity anyway. It seems to have a mind of its own there. Size. Now I'm going with pressure there, just standard, just what it was before. That's perfectly reasonable. And I'm going with normal. Now, sometimes you go on this and it might be additional something, or overlay or something, and suddenly you find, or lighten, and it suddenly doesn't seem to do anything. So I always find normal is a great starting point. Of all of them, all the blending modes, normal is a great starting point, and then you can expand out and try out some of the others, because they're great. So it's worth checking out. Then go to shape diaries, and this one's useful, random size. So I want random size, and I'm not going to go fixed rotation. I'm going for randomized rotation. And what that will do, it will rotate it. So when I apply it, and if I apply it quickly now, you can see it just rotates. Now color, expand that out, color options. And I'm going to go with a random HSV. And you can just randomize the hue and saturation and value. And you can just change up, but up to you. Maybe keep that one to 0. Otherwise you end up with a lot of dark, lots of bright. you might not want that. If you want variety of colour, it's probably best to change the hue one. And also you can do colour per particle, which is quite nice, I think. But you can try it out. Just try it out. You might find that you don't like that. You can turn it off. And also you can try some of the others. They may or may not have any use for you. Rotation doesn't seem to do anything for me anyway. Airbrush, you can turn that off. If you do, then you can apply it and see if it makes any difference, or put it on. And in that case, it does make a difference. So I'm going to set it to fairly low value. I think it's always a good idea sometimes just to keep things maybe a bit low. Sometimes you push a thing up to 100% and suddenly it just wrecks everything. The machine just has a problem. I'm not going to go with rate. You could set that. Clearly it doesn't have there. You could set it on. Might have an impact. And painting mode, I'm going to go with wash. You can go with build up. Just try it. Vary it. That's one. Wash. Now, I think I'll go with that one. And this is a great place, a scratch pad. So if there's something you don't particularly know, or you think, because some of these I think, oh, is it going to do something? Is it not going to do something? It's amazing when you run through these things that you suddenly think, works in a different way than I thought. Well, once you've decided on everything, you're happy with it. Of course, you can always save it. Save a new brush preset. So click there, and then you can, of course, give a thing. And you can also clear the thumbnail and draw in this as well. And you can see, you can quickly draw there. I'm just going to draw it quickly. It's a good way. I'm just going to call it abstract paint. Now, I normally like to put AB in front of it, my initials. So I know that that's one of my ones. And you can, of course, then save it. You can also set other things up as well, but I'm just saving that now. And there it is saved. And now apply it. And there it is. It's like basically a nozzle. Basically, it's a nozzle. Not in the particularly, I mean, I would love to see additional features like the nozzle feature. I mean, there's obviously millions of things. However, of course, you can use this brushstroke elsewhere as well. So I've applied it now with the standard tool over here. I'm just going to go over here. You've got this one, the freehand brush tool. Now, I haven't tried it yet with these other ones, but I'm just going to try it. It might crash it, might not. Who knows? Multi-brush. So I'm going to go with multi-brush, and I'm going to go with snowflake. And it'd be interesting to see what it does. I maybe reduce the number of brushes there. Let's put it down to 6. You don't want to put it like 30 or something and suddenly find your machine is then working for the next hour doing various things. I'm just applying it now, and maybe the brush size is a bit too big. Let's just try it. And I haven't, oh, there it is. It's done. It started work. Took a bit of time to think about it. Perhaps not going to be so useful working using the snowflake feature. No, it's done it again. So it's actually, you can use it with that tool, but clearly it is requires a bit of waiting to actually see the result. So that's a way of starting again, images into the application using the spray feature, spray brush engine of Krita. If you've got any questions, please put in the comments below. Really great to hear from you in terms of how you've used the brush engine, what sort of things you've found with this sort of spray feature. Be great to know. Also, please check out the rest of the videos on Krita. I've got lots of Krita videos on my Graphic Extras channel. Thank you much.